So I wanted to share with you guys a few things. First of all, what if you're somebody like me who doesn't need an awful lot of assistance but sometimes could use just basic magnification out of the box, especially when my vision used to be a lot worse than it is? I'm going to show you because I made some really awesome discoveries. So first of all, we're going to go into, believe it or not, one of the discoveries I made was easy it was Arch Linux using the new Arch script. This is the thing that has gotten me into Arch. Now, will I be running it on bare metal anytime soon? I don't know. There's still a lot I have to learn about it, and I'm not really too thrilled with the whole rolling release thing. It kind of scares me. Basically because it kind of reminds me of Windows, where if you get an update, something breaks. Now, I know that Arch tends to have that reputation, and I've seen a video they say, oh, just don't update as often and you'll be fine. I think that if I were to put this on a main machine, that would not quell my fears. I'm sorry, but that doesn't mean that I don't like playing around with Arch in a virtual machine. Now, here we are in GNOME boxes, and we've landed at the decryption prompt. And I had encrypted this virtual machine just to see what would happen. This is really awesome because they won't let you get any further. You know, it's kind of like what FileVault does on the Mac. The only difference is that when you log in for the first time, you enter your password, it will decrypt when you log into your account. Whereas with Arch, if you choose to encrypt your drive, it will go ahead and basically say you can't even log in without decrypting your drive. So that is awesome. So I've just entered the password. We are going to decrypt. It'll take just a moment. And I have to say that overall I've been rather impressed with Arch. Now I will say that when we get to, because we're multiple desktop environments, when we get to KDE, I'm going to tell you a few things that I ran into. So we're going to start out. I'm going to go ahead and check here. So we've got our sessions here with XFCE. Now the reason for that is because if you want to reduce e-waste, you want to reuse your old computer. If you are coming from like a 10 to 11-year-old computer, you need something weight. Okay? Saying, oh, go to a tiling window manager. I'm talking to a person who never touched Linux before, that wants a laptop that is familiar, easy to use, and lightweight on system resources. I would say that's XFCE. Now, why do I say that? Because I'm also talking to the person who needs magnification and needs magnification, right? Out of the box. No tweaks. XFCE has out of the box. What do? Hold down the Alt key and you scroll. And that is it. Alt key, scroll. Boom. It is simple. It is for this reason that I have made a decision on what operating system I'm going to use on my Raspberry Pi. I have purchased a 56 gig SanDisk card, and I will be flying operating. If you were quick, you didn't have to be quick. I kind of rambled, but you probably saw it back before I logged into Arch here. So that is really cool. It's just Alt, scroll. So I am going to, and incidentally, I don't understand why XFCE doesn't come with the whisker menu out of the box, because these days we're so used to Surge. By default, XFCE does not come with the whisker menu out of the box. It comes with the application menu, which I'll go ahead and quickly add here just to show you what that's like. If I can find it, here we are. So add. So by default, obviously it's in the wrong place, but this is just for demonstration purposes. Typically this menu here that says applications would be over here where the whisker menu is. So if I go in and here's the applications, so you can see everything is, it's organized. But if there's something a bit obscure that maybe you're not sure where it would be, maybe it's not in any of these predefined spots, well, that's where the ability to search comes in. And that's why I'm saying I think that if you're new to Linux, you don't quite know where everything is yet, I'm surprised the whisker menu does not come out. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this because there's no reason for it to be here. So we're going to go up here. And the really cool part is you also have versatility. You can choose, you can either go into the whisker menu, or you can do what I'm going to do is go up to the username. I'm going to say log out. But that is XFCE. Again, basic magnification box. Did I just say log out or down? I think I probably said shut down. All right, well, reboot. I haven't been up for very long, so if I'm kind of all over the place, I apologize. Excuse me. So that was XFCE. We're going to go back in and we're going to choose Plasma. Now I have to say that up until recently I've not really been a fan of Plasma. In fact, I still have my irks about it. But if you're coming from Windows and you have more modern hardware where you'll be able to run Plasma without it being a problem. You remember on Windows that if you need basic magnification, the Windows key and plus. Well, the same thing, key and plus, and boom, magnification. Now I will say, the Windows cape to get out of it does not work. Manually zoom back out. I will say one of the things I love about KDE is its customization. So you can see that we have the Arch logo as the launcher. That's not there by default. I actually put that there. It's really cool to be able to go in and so I can just say configure application launcher, and right here, boom. And as you can see, magnification, it works. It is a little bit jerky. I think maybe because it's running in a virtual machine. You know, take that as you will. But no, you just icon, and you can either change or clear. So I'm going to say clear, and that gives us back. So I'm going to say apply, and what that does is that changes the icon back, and the icon by default is the KDE logo. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to say choose. I'm going to say browse and pictures, and right here. This side managed to swipe from the web. So the Arch logo, it has to be a P in order for this to work, at least as far as aesthetics are concerned. So again, take a look. Oop. Right down here where the KDE logo is. I'm going to go zoom out because for some reason when I get into a corner it gets angry. So I'm going to go ahead and say apply, and again, keep your eye on the left corner for those of you who can see. Watch. Boom. It's that easy. And what's even cooler is you can type in global themes and right here. And when I used to do Windows, I had to go in, excuse me, I had to go in and I had to go to various websites to find the necessary. So right now, I've got, you can see here I've got a Windows 7 arrow. Now, because I'm running in a virtual machine, it can be a little bit weird, but, I mean, look at this. So we got Firefox. I'm going to load. And as you can see, you've got the Windows 7 Classic look up here. Let's go in again. Oh, whoops, what did I just say yes to? Where the heck am I? Oh, I think I must be in the main settings manager. Actually, while we're here, I'm going to show you something. You go into accessibility, and this is the only thing you see is this Oh, wait, where am I? I'm in the Discover Software Center. Again, I'm not fully awake. Yay. Let's get out of here before I... Ugh. Okay. Let's try this again. Let's see now. Global. Global. What the heck is a global? Oh, what the heck? Global themes right there. Enter. Thank you. Let's see. Let's try this one. This one I also installed. Now, here's one thing. I just ticked with the appearance settings. I tried doing desktop layout, and that really screwed things up. So I'm going to say apply. And again, we got a Windows theme. Something just happened to the wallpaper. And we've changed our icon for GNOME Web to Microsoft Edge. Oh, here we are. Even a logo. We go into Microsoft Office, and sure enough, you got your Microsoft icons here. But that is how easy it is to customize, KDE. And until I covered the Windows-esque magnification keyboard shortcut, I wasn't sure I would like KDE, and now I'm looking forward to it on the Steam Deck. It's going to become my main desktop because I will say that 3, it's always been the most... It's taken a moment for things to load, and I'm not sure if that's... here we go again. I can't type. Global theme. Let's try again. We're going to put everything back to where it was. You can see the arrow is kind of going around like... Okay, now it's not even working. What the heck? This is exactly what I was talking about. You know what? I'm going to get out of here. We're not going to stay in here because I do have one more thing to show you. I'll try and fix this later. So we'll just log out. Yeah. So we're going to go back in here, and we're going to change the session again, and we're going to go to GNOME. And we are in GNOME. Now, to activate the magnifier in GNOME, if you're coming from a Mac, the muscle memory will be very familiar. It's essentially Command Option, which on Windows, it's Windows Alt, and Linux, it's Super Alt 8. And you can see it works. A little jerky, again, because we're running in a virtual machine, but it works. Okay. I am just blown away by how easily... Now, again, if you need additional accessibility on top of the basic magnification, my recommendation is to go with GNOME. Even if you're coming from Windows, it will be a learning curve. But again, if this little menu up here, that's not there by default. So if we go into accessibility right here, okay, it's part of settings. You go into accessibility, and you've got all this. You've got high contrast. You've got large text. You can enable or disable your animations. You can activate or deactivate the screen reader. Now, I will say, Orca doesn't really come with a welcome thing. You can go to, if you Google Orca keyboard commands, it'll take you to the GNOME website, and you can go ahead and learn about the keyboard commands there. But I don't think that's enough, personally. I think that they should include a welcome tutorial. Maybe I've just been spoiled by the Macintosh all these years, but I just think that that's the way to go. Windows, I think, needs to do the same thing. If you're new to Narrator, they should come in with a welcome screen. But take a look at all this. This is, they've pretty much, they've thought of, I don't know if I want to say they thought of everything, because maybe there's some things I'm not even thinking about. But here's where this little menu comes in up here. You see the very first option, always show accessibility menu. So you can just click that off and on. And I'm going to leave that on because I like it being there. But like I said before, if you need access to assistive technologies, I would say go with GNOME, regardless of where you're coming from. If you need just basic magnification, then I'm going to say that XFCE and KDE and GNOME can all serve you. Now, I'm logging out of here again because I want to look at something real quick. This is going to be a discovery thing for both of us, okay? So I'm going to go in and I'm going to select GNOME Classic. I think it should be the exact same thing. Let's see. Yep, right up here. Exact same thing. Now, why GNOME Classic? Because if you have fond memories of GNOME 2, which is now personified in Mate, you would want to try this. Anything else? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, no, it isn't. There is one more thing. My little decision that I've made. So I'm going to power off. I'll have to remember I'm on GNOME Classic before I boot it into R. Oh, wait, what? Why is it rebooting? I thought I put it down. Probably just said restart by mistake. Oh well. Okay, we'll decrypt and we will officially shut the system down. I know that in GNOME boxes you can have more than one machine running at once, but I don't like to tax the system. So I feel better just having one running. And once we get into the boot menu, I'll go ahead and switch back to standard GNOME. Oh, interesting. Did I have to decrypt the drive did I have to encrypt the drive before shutting down? Again, this is the first time I've done that. So anyway, this is the surprise that I wanted to say. It's possible I already said this. This is the second time I've recorded a video and I'm not fully awake. So if I repeat myself, I do apologize. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in here to Manjaro. I have decided to go with Manjaro on the Raspberry Pi. This is the XFCE desktop, and as you've seen before, Alt, Scroll, Magnification. Let me see. So we have accessibility. So we have assistive technologies. You can enable assistive technologies with the session. Yep, required for screen readers and magnifiers, so that will enable that. And let's see, if I go into add remove software, I want to try. I'm looking for something. I don't know if I will find this or not. Okay, so the one that comes up is KMag. I am not necessarily fond of KMag because I've always found it to be jerky. I don't know if that's because I've only ran it in a virtual machine. Well, even on bare metal, I think I ran into problems. But as far as out of the box goes, you can see that if all you need is basic magnification, you're pretty much set with GNOME, XFCE, or KDE. And again, if you need more than that, I would recommend GNOME. And even then, you're still not going to find the all-in-one accessibility features like you would say with Fusion on Windows. So it does have a long way to go, but we are making progress. You know, especially because Fedora hired a blind software engineer. So any luck, we will be seeing wonderful things happen down the road. So I want to show you something real quick. I did mention that I was going to go with Manjaro XFCE. So we're going to come back in here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go into the Raspberry Pi Imager. So we'll just say choose OS and general purpose. So right here, Manjaro ARM Linux. I'm not going to do Ubuntu because I did try Ubuntu Mate, and I'll be honest, I wasn't happy. One of the things that I couldn't stand was that login sound, and the reason I couldn't stand it is because the speakers that I used For some reason, the volume would not set properly at the login screen, and sometimes would make me jump. So I just want to get the heck away from there as much as I can. But as you can see here, Manjaro ARM XFCE 64-bit. So it'll run on the Raspberry Pi no problem. And as you can see, it's under a gig to download. The other options here, Mate is also under a gig, but I don't want to go with Mate. I want something lighter. As you can see, KDE is a bit heavier. Gnome, I've already tried Gnome and I've found it to be rather sluggish. I do not want to go with the tiling window manager. I definitely don't want to go with no desktop. When it comes to something like the Raspberry Pi, I'd rather have something that's out of the box and ready to go. So I do think that XFCE is where it's at. So, but yeah, that's basically what I decided. Manjaro XFCE, and I have found that more desktop environments are accessible to me than I realized, and I could not be happier about that. This is going to give me so much more variety, and I'm very excited. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.